Hello, fellow gamers. I'm Gloryhound, and this is
the lovely Dr. Gloryhogg.
Could you say a little bit louder for the camera?
I was looking
Were you looking at yourself?
I was, actually.
Were you? I knew it. I knew he was looking at himself. I knew it.
I regret nothing. The lovely Dr. Gloryhogg.
I feel like whenever you get older, Doctor, I'm just going to put one of those mirrors up, like next to the bed, and then you're just going to like sit there and be like,
yeah. I feel like since like dementia is a thing in my family and we all live to be like 90 plus, I think just putting a mirror at the hospital, like, or, you know, convalescent home, wherever I'm living at that point. I'm assuming you've gotten rid of me.
At the bottom, we can hang little rings off of it. I can just look at it,
and then I'll just put like Dr. Gloryhogg underneath it. And I'll be like, who's this?
This gentleman. Nice.
I'm like, oh, he's fancy. I'm like, whoa, you know. I think I could spend hours doing that. Just looking at that fancy man on the TV.
Little rings underneath the mirror too.
Yeah,
like
and
you have like a water bottle.
The point where I feel like that's
sandwich.
That's TV that I'm looking at. And I'm like, oh, and I'll just watch myself eat and drink, and it'll be amazing.
I feel like that's 100% plausible.
Yeah.
Hello to our chat today. Petter says, bring on the Kickstarters. Let's hear. Oh, Doctor's looking very lovely today. I know, Doctor's always looking very lovely, right? It's that hair. We've got some long hairs happening now.
It's pretty long.
All right, everyone. So we're going to be talking about 3 different Kickstarters today. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, give us a like, ring the bell to get notified whenever we go live. We are going live twice a week with a playthrough and a Kickstarter show weekly. He sparkles like one of those vampires. Do you?
I am kind of shiny.
You're going to have to take your shirt off so I can see.
I am kind of shiny, though. I think it's mostly because of the excessive amounts of glitter you have in this house.
Smoking.
She was doing her nails like with some glitter stuff, and it was literally... I thought I was having a seizure because I kept seeing like sparkles while I was watching TV, and I was like, hey, do you see that? And I was like, oh my God, there's so much glitter going on in this house that it's just raining down like like dust motes.
The real reason why the Doctor sparkles.
I was scared. I was scared.
Is he shiny or just pale? It matters. If I've done my nails, he's shiny. If it's not like that, he's just pale, okay?
There's an excessive amount of glitter for one person in this house.
First up, we have Road Vendetta. This is by Restoration Games. They're bringing back an old classic in this game here, where you are taking several cars and you're going down a stretch of road and you're trying to blow up other players and get to the end of this road here. Super fantastic. Hello, Beyond Dead.
It's a race, unless you just kill everybody else.
Right.
Then it's an automatic win. So there's 2 ways to win, which I'm a big fan of, because you can decide to be like, I'm not going to win this, but I'll just kill everybody else.
If you're behind, then you start going for the other tactic, which is just murderizing everybody. Yeah.
Or that might be your preferred tactic. So let's talk about video games.
Hold on, one question here. Beyond Dead says, do you have a 55-gallon barrel of glitter?
Please don't tell her where that is.
Probably.
I don't want her to have that.
Combination of glitter in the house.
So the reason why I said I want to bring up video games is because there's a lot of different like driving game franchises out there, right? There's like Mario Kart, there's Gran Turismo, there's all these driving franchises, right? Need for Speed.
There's that one I really like though, where you crash into stuff.
So here's my 2 favorites. Well, actually, I'd say my top 3 favorites, the ones I played the most.
Okay.
Not counting Mario Kart, because back then we only had like 3 games, right? And so when my buddy would bring over his Super Nintendo, it was Mario Kart or Super Mario World. That was it. That's all he had. So the 3 that I played the most was Twisted Metal Black. I played that one a lot. Then I would say the other one that I played a lot was Carnage. I played that one on Maximum Carnage. That was Carmageddon. There we go. Maximum Carmageddon. That was the one on PC. You could play on your computer, and you would put spikes on your car and crash things. And then the other one that we both played together a lot was Burnout. Yeah. Which Burnout had all the crashes, jumps. You know, you had whole missions where your only mission was just knock everybody out. This reminds me of Burnout because you still want to win the race, but the other way, the alternate route to win is just by taking all the other cars out, because they can't race.
They can't race if they're just
on the side of the road.
Well, not dead. I mean, you take out their tires and stuff, okay?
Yeah, you aim for the tires.
So Studio Laniston says, I'm playing Mad Max video game right now, so this board game should appeal to me. That's exactly
Mad Max
what
is
this
supposed
board
to be like
game
a
sort of
really
style
good
is.
but underknown, like not as well-known open world style survival-ish game.
This is, though, a older style game that I was really, really excited to see Restoration Games pick up and restore to a better game, right?
An updated, more modern.
More updated, more modern
Because they add more stuff to it. They don't make it just dice or...
It still has this beautiful sort of like older style appeal to it. They did a lot of like that Fireball Island where it looks like Fireball Island a lot, you know, like with the art and everything. Like they kept a
Graphics.
lot of the same art and everything with it, which I really, really like because it wasn't bad. It's still really cute. But
So cute.
so excited to play this
So
game.
cute. So we've seen a lot of them, right? We saw like Hollywood Racers.
Yeah.
We saw
Which we didn't get.
Wacky Racers, which was like the CMON one, which was like the cartoon
Yeah.
ones and stuff. We've seen a couple of different racing games. We even saw, was it Dirt? It was Dirt was the other one, right? Or was it
Well, there's
Dirt
some
or the other
other-
auto racing one that looked good that was very highly racing? And then we've got Car Wars.
Well, there's a lot of other racing games, but this
Right.
one being the fact that
Well-
you are shooting in it is definitely sets it apart from the other
Right.
racing
This
games.
seems like a racing game kind of mixed with some of those Car Wars aspects where you can like take people out too.
Right, because you're not rolling in this game to make a turn or to see
Right.
how well you do to go around somebody like that. No, you're rolling to smash into people, shoot people, and fly past people and stuff. Like, that's why you're rolling in this game.
Yeah, that's the only reason
Yeah,
why.
the important rolls, okay?
So normally a rolling racing game where you're just rolling cars would be like, that's all right. But since you're rolling and then you're taking those dice and placing them places, you have to decide like which vehicles you're going to use each die for, which one
Right.
you're going to use on your dashboard. I think that's where
That's what
the
I liked.
gameplay comes in. And you can
Yeah.
call in for like, you can move any of your cars. You can call in to try to speed past people. You can bump people and knock them into walls. You can shoot people with your helicopter. You can get heals if you need heals. And anytime you do something where you do get in the same space as another character, you get to roll dice to see like if you knock them like to the left, to the right, if you go past them, you get to see all those different things. And if you're a bigger vehicle, you get to re-roll if it goes badly for you. So there's some really cool aspects in this where it does really kind of feel like just really fun, like knock people out, kind of like King of Tokyo was, where you're rolling dice, you gotta like knock people out. It was very fun. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be so intense where I'm like, but it seems more like I'm gonna be sucker as I knock somebody off the road.
And here's the thing. So normally I don't like dice rolling games. However, this one has enough mitigation in it in the fact that, okay, if I do roll badly or poorly, I'm able to distribute my dice in a way that still is beneficial for me.
Yes.
And I feel like that's the main thing for me. Like, again, like in Car Wars, I can strategically move my car. And so, like, the dice rolls, although impactful, like they're not the entirety of the game. And I think that's what's most important for me personally in these games. Is I don't want
'cause
a
you
dice rolling
dice
game.
placement is okay, but you don't like just straight dice rolling.
Right. And then like I go up 5 spaces because I got this roll and, it was successful or something. Like I don't want that experience. I want the experience where my choices actually matter and then the dice make my choices more challenging.
Right, and I like that if you're rolling 4 dice, you got to put like all 4 dice somewhere, right? So you're like trying to maximize across all your boards, trying to figure out what's going to be best for each.
Controlling 3 cars, I think?
Yes, it's small, medium, and large.
You're controlling 3 different cars. Oh, I totally blew.
Tall, grande, and vente.
Those
Those
are the
all
car
mean large,
names.
except for vente, which
Are you
means
team
20.
Frappuccino or something?
Maybe. You could paint them Starbucks colors. You could paint these. They seem big
I
enough.
feel like this is very Death Race, a great movie.
Yeah.
Let's
I feel like
see
you could paint these too if you wanted to. I think they're big enough that you could have fun with them if you wanted to,
Did
which
we
is
back
really important.
Tiny Turbo Cars. We did not back that. Let's see here. So this game here is for 2 to 4 players. Should last about 30 to 75 minutes. The
Which
base
is perfect.
price on this baby is $50, followed by a $145 pledge, which
Maximum
is
pledge.
the Chrome pledge, I think, when you get the Chrome edition.
So do you want to talk about the differences between the 2 pledges?
Yes, I do.
So your $50 is going to get you in the
Right
door,
here.
right? You're going to get your stretch goals, you get the main game, you get the extra ammo, which is going to give you a few cards, which
You're
keeps
going to get
getting
your
upgraded.
Kickstarter exclusives and stuff like that. Anything
Right.
that they would have with that.
The maximum Chrome is going to come with the 3 expansions.
Look at how pretty that is.
And a custom, it's all going to come in one box, and it's going to come with a custom insert of some sort. Plastic insert, I believe. What you get with those expansions is one of them is going to give you more road tiles. That's the big thing about it. It's going to give you more road tiles. I think it gives you like 8 more double-sided road tiles, which is important if you want to have a little variety.
It's
And it
big.
adds fire. And
Absolutely.
a fire die.
Oh, yeah.
So you can catch on fire and everything, which I think is pretty
Who
cool.
doesn't want to catch on fire?
I don't
I mean,
want...
probably not, but I want to catch other people on
Yeah.
fire. Who doesn't want to catch other
There we
people
go.
on fire?
Another expansion comes with a 5th player option. So you can play as a 5th player, and with that 5th player option, it's giving you 2 different teams. One of them is a big rig team, so your vehicles are 3 linked vehicles that race around. And the other one seems like it's 5 motorcycles. So you're controlling 5 motorcycles
What?
instead of controlling...
You
but they're
also-
smaller, right? But they're motorcycles. So you can either play as like the last 5, the final 5, I think is what they're called, or you can play as the big rig. So it gives you like very different than the base set.
You also have this chopper that comes in and can shoot people as well. So
Can
is
shoot
it
or repair. I
all
believe.
shiny and chrome? I think like the lettering and stuff, like if you saw up there whenever it flashed, that would be like the chromeness that it adds to it, because it does say that it upgrades the box there with a bit some chrome on
Oh
it
yeah,
and
like
stuff.
kind of foiled. And then the third expansion, which I think is the most important expansion for
Okay.
gamers. And the reason why I say for gamers is because you always want to have a little extra oomph, a little something that makes your character different or makes you feel like you're making impactful choices more than just die rolls, right? You don't want to ever feel like, oh, I just rolled bad, so therefore I did bad.
Right.
You already get some of that with the way the dashboard's set up, right? Because there's dice placement. But I think the other really important thing is the other expansion, which I think is a must-own, even if you don't go for the full thing.
Must-own, everyone.
If you're going to get this, I think more than the other maps and everything else is the expansion, the third expansion, which gives you player character powers. So you're going to have a slightly different character. There's 8 of them, I believe. So like 8 different characters. They're going to have slightly different boards. They have like their own unique kind of powers that make them different from each other. And it lets you upgrade your vehicle. You can add spoilers, tank treads.
Oh, that's cool.
You can add additional things to your actual vehicle to make it feel different. So like if somebody knocks you in the dirt or in the mud, you've got tank treads, you're probably just going to continue driving just as fast. Like you're not worried about it.
Now, the $145 pledge on this one here does contain all of the expansions. Okay, so like...
Or you can piecemeal it.
Piecemeal it with like, okay, we do the $50 game and then we pick up another expansion, which expansions though are what? Like this one's $40 here.
Another one is 40 and the other one is 25. The one that I'm talking about is 25.
Okay.
And that's the one, because it's cards. It's mostly going to be like, you know, cards and vehicle upgrades and individual characters that you're going to have a pilot basically.
There's not fuzzy dice though, but that would be hilarious if there was fuzzy dice in it.
So I think that's really important though. I think if you want this to last longer and not feel like, oh, it was just mostly dice rolling and oh, I got unlucky, I think being able to customize is really important for gamers. Because it's going to make it feel more like your vehicles are doing something different than other people's vehicles are.
Absolutely.
And you've got different advantages and disadvantages. I think that's really important. I would love to have all of it, of course. We got to talk about pricing. But if you're,
I know, right?
but if you want to get into it and you don't want to spend $140, you can just get, for $75, you can get the expansion with the individual player powers and you can get the actual base game itself. And I think that's the most economical way to get into it.
This is tough because these expansions are really fantastic. They're adding double-sided boards, like this one here.
Well, you already have double-sided boards.
Right, I know. I'm saying like they're adding, like in this one, 4 double-sided boards.
So doubles
then 8,
the amount of maps you have.
Yeah, exactly. You have 8 different maps in that, because when you're going through this game as you're going along, then you add like a new map and then like all the maps move down, the last one comes off and stuff.
That eliminates anybody who's on that last map too,
exactly.
which is
so like
really cool.
That is the area that you're going through, but you're constantly going through these maps along, like, which is really, really cool. But yeah, I'm always a ham for maps because they add so much more to your game.
That's
you
fair.
know, like more maps, I'm always like I just want a map pack.
And you can be on fire. It adds a fire die. So there are some cool things in this. I'm just saying if you want to get into it as cheap as possible, I think the must-have expansion is the third one, the Chop Shop.
The Chop Shop. Okay, here's the Chop Shop.
Because here it is. So it says leaders offer special powers and custom commands. So your commands can be slightly different too.
Oh, nice.
And that's really important. And there's going to be 8 of them. And so I feel like that's going to really make you feel like you're making your own character, like your vehicle is different than everybody else's. Mm-hmm. It's not just based off just how you roll. And the upgrades are huge. I mean, look at this. Armor plating, stealth technology, spoiler makes it so that you always go like at least 2 or something like that. Roll cage, oil dispenser, sandbags, railgun, heavy machine gun. Being able to add upgrades to your vehicle, I think is going to be major to make it feel fun.
Absolutely. I love the character art in this. It's like, it's exactly what I would want for this style of game.
Right,
just like
it's
completely ridiculous.
A 30-minute to like 75-minute game, right? It's supposed to be kind of lighthearted. It's going to take up about an hour. You could probably play it a couple times a night if you wanted to.
They're all rainbowy and shiny too. Like, oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah, so it's going to come with some extra stuff there, which I think is really cool. Because I think we're both sold on getting the game.
Yeah.
Then the question is, how much do we want to spend?
Spoilers. Yeah, spoilers, everybody. Spoilers, everybody.
They make you go faster, I think.
I wanted this game going into this. I knew I was going to want this game. Like, I just love, what is it, car battling sort of games so much. Like, it's so much fun. And going into this, yeah, I absolutely 100% knew I wanted to back this. So everything that I see, I'm always like, oh, they just made it a little better. Oh, they made it a little bit better. Oh, I want this a little bit more. Like, this is tough. Oh, it's so unfair. Are there any of them named Frankenstein? Not that I know of.
You know what, Petter? I will let you name it whatever you want. If you buy it, you can name it.
What is this? New road board. Okay, let's see here at 475K. What is this funded at? I didn't even look. Oh, it's at least, I thought it was at least at 500,000.
Yeah.
So you're already getting extra maps and stuff like that. We need more extra maps, everyone.
New crew leaders. See, I think the crew leaders are going to be really important in the upgrades. I think that's going to be very importante.
Very importante.
Agreed.
All right. Chad, are you backing this game? Doctor?
I'm in for at least $75 because I want the core, of course, and then I want at least the chop shop. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I would like the maps. That's like my second most favorite one. Like, I like the maps, and I like having the different style of vehicles for kind of just difference whenever you play it. I'm just wondering for sure. I know that I'm going to immediately, when I play this, I'm going to immediately want to play with the crew leaders,
100%.
and I want to play with the upgrades. Where
100%.
I might not like how the big rig plays, or I might not like how the 5 bikes play. I know for sure,
Here's the
or I
problem.
might not care about the maps as much, but I know for sure I'm going to want to have those crew upgrades.
Here's the problem. I want this Carnage Devil's Run like so bad.
Because
and
of the
so
maps?
like the car here it starts adding up to right about the same price, right? So Carnage Devil's Runs,
You
another
save
40,
about $15 if
that's
you get
90.
them all together.
And then 100, 110, 115, so you're already up there. Like,
Right. Yeah, if you're going to get more than one expansion, you're getting close. You might as well just back the whole thing. But the question is, do you want to spend 150? I mean, it's
Come
double
on,
the price.
everyone. There's too many good Kickstarters right now.
Or, I'm sorry, it's not double the price, but it is definitely more expensive.
If you pull all the street pieces together, you can make the game take a really, really long time. No, the point is that you can't see what's coming up next. You put the map on, like
Yeah, you add it.
Yeah, you add it, and then you take away. You can't put all of them out at the same time. You can plan ahead too far.
I do like the idea
Plus-
of the big rig and the different bikes and stuff, but man, it really just depends on how much we think we're going to replay it. If it's going to get played like 4 or 5 times a year, then I don't know if you necessarily need that. But if you're going to be playing it more than that, then yeah, it's probably nice to have different options.
Doing the maps like that forces players to not take just one car and then go way ahead and do something, because like there's all your other cars. If you focus on just 1 or 2 cars, you're going to leave your other car behind, and then that's an asset that you're not going to have. And then later, if one of your cars smashes into something or gets totaled and stuff, then you just have less cars. So you want to keep all your cars on the board at the same time, if you can.
If you just leave 2 of your cars in the garage, they're safe.
Mm.
But then if you lose your lead car, you're out. You're just done.
Doctor,
Yes.
are you backing this game?
Yes.
What
I didn't know
price
anything
is
about this before it came up
You
on
didn't know
Kickstarter.
anything about this
no,
at
I hadn't
all?
heard about it at all.
Oh,
I haven't
I've
heard
seen
about
this-
the old game
yeah,
before or anything.
I've seen
So
this.
when it popped up, I was very pleasantly surprised. It looks like
Here's-
it's a lot of fun.
Here's the thing too. This is, gosh, when did this game come out? I don't know when this game came out, but it was old enough that
I think 80s.
I don't remember playing it as a kid. And then like seeing it at a convention, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to play this game. And I sat down and watched this game being played, and I was like, oh, I love this, but I never actually got to play it because, like, what game collection has this right now? I don't have it. There's other conventions that I've been to that I haven't seen this game at. Like, I've
So
only
you
seen
saw
it.
the original being played.
Yeah, I saw the original being played. Like, somebody brought the original to
And
a
you were
game
still
convention,
excited.
and I was super excited about the original of this game after watching it being played. Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good endorsement, because normally, like when they are the older ones, you just kind of get kind of bored, right? You're
Yeah.
like, I don't know if this is for me or anything else.
Oh, this is a good question. So Petter says, is this a relaunch? Correct. I believe they had a campaign in 2021 as well, but funding wasn't going to hit what they wanted. So
I think they were only up for like a week or 2 though. I don't
it
think it was
wasn't
on
even
for very long.
it wasn't even a week. I thought it was like a day or 2 or something. Like it was a very, very short amount of time. And what had happened was they were rushing the launch a little bit, and
that's
they
right.
hadn't sent, like they didn't have all of the assets for everything.
Right, they didn't have all the pictures
Right,
they wanted.
because-
They didn't have all
right.
the stuff really
They
figured
hadn't
out.
sent it out to people because I remember talking about this and looking into
That's
this.
right, because this
They
is the
hadn't
one.
sent it out to people yet. They hadn't, like, looking through the video, I looked through the video and I was like, well, they didn't talk about gameplay at all in this video at all. How do you know what they've done with the game. So
if I remember right, this is the one where they said, the leader of whoever's running this said that they had it on their books to launch it at that time, and then they were like, well, we're going to launch it, hell or high water, while everybody else in their team was like,
we need
another,
shouldn't launch it.
We need another month or so. And they're like, no, we'll just launch it, it'll be fine. And then they launched it, and then they were like, you're right, we didn't have everything we needed. We can't answer the questions the way we want to. And
that's
all
100% how that went. So it was, I'm glad it was delayed because it came out better. It has everything it needs here, all the stuff that I need to go, oh, yeah, this is a game I want. So I'm backing this. I'm definitely going to do the smaller level. I agree with you about getting the other thing, but man, it's going to be tough because if you do want like the Carnage, pack and stuff like that, it's getting up there, and we have some hard decisions to make today, everyone.
If you back it piecemeal, you're going to have the box for the main game plus the box for the other stuff. I think with the Chop Shop, you could probably fit it in the main box. I'm going to assume since it's cards, right? It's mostly cards. It's not like you're getting a bunch of maps. If you're going to get extra maps, though, you're going to need a bigger box, or you're going to have 2 boxes.
Look at that. It's going to be chrome. You're just going to want to touch it. Just be like, just like a chrome car? No?
You touch chrome cars? You just go and touch them?
You touch the wheel, you're like, so nice.
I just sit on the edge of them. So they just got butt prints on their car.
Wow.
So they got to question what was happening.
Petter, are you backing this game? Chat, are you backing this game?
Yeah, I'm curious because I don't know if this is one that a lot of our followers have played before, like back when they were younger or something,
I'm curious
or what.
As to when this came out. Like, I'm looking this up.
Yeah, you might as well. Because we have less projects this week than normal because although there were some really big ones, there's only some that we wanted to talk about.
And you lick the chrome cars? No, you don't. Yeah. You don't.
You can lick chrome. They're antibacterial. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Okay. When did Thunder Road come out? Thunder Road.
Board game.
Board game.
Probably should look it up on BGG. So let's see what we got here. Petter says, I am not backing it. I wish I could, but I'll wait for retail if it hits retail. So here's the problem. Oh, Battlecry says 86. So that makes
86.
Sense.
Thank you, Battlecry.
You would have been like a toddler.
Yeah, no, it was like.
Pre-kindergarten.
What is it? 2?
You would have been 4.
4 years old? Okay.
I wasn't going to say the exact date,
Thank
so
you.
people wouldn't do it.
Oh, sorry.
But you did.
I was thinking, like, that's too little. I was too young, okay?
It's too little to be playing a Vengeance car game.
This is not one that you can find in the stores,
Right, that makes sense. And Battlecry says no. I think one of the main reasons why people might not back it, which is unfortunate for restoration games, is because Zombicide is like over $500. It's $450. Well, we can talk about that later.
We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Yeah, it's not good.
Am I getting old? Because I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, do I want to back Marvel Zombies or do I want to buy my kid her first clunker to drive? Like, Because at one point in time, I paid like $600 for a car. So I'm starting to think in like those terms where I'm like, yeah, I could get this game or I could buy myself a clunker. Now, I'm sure clunkers are more expensive now, right? But if in reality you can say, do I want a PlayStation 5 or do I want to get Marvel Zombies all in? And that's a real comparison.
That is a real comparison.
Or do I want to get a new TV or do I want to get this Marvel Zombies? Like they're like at the same level now. Which is crazy. I never thought a board game would ever compete with the price of a PlayStation 5.
On a weekend staycation somewhere super fancy, or do I want to get a board game?
Do I want to fly to Origins and go to Origins for a couple days and rent a hotel, or do I want to get this board game? Because they're comparable. I mean, Origins would be more for us because we have to fly and then the hotel. But even people who just have to drive there and then get a hotel, you're going to pay a couple $100 a night. There's the entry fee. You're getting to that point where...
What else would you buy instead of Marvel
One
Zombies?
of the computers we have in the other room costs less than this.
Do you need a computer? You could buy a real nice little tiny computer.
You need a desktop computer.
Yeah, you get a little desktop.
You might be able to find an iPad for less than this.
Oh, there you go. You need an iPad? Or you need Marvel Zombies, everyone.
Yeah, the first rule of CMON Kickstarters is we don't talk about the price of CMON Kickstarters.
For real.
It is a lot.
Beyond Dead says, I thought that was the brass or the bronze or something about the copper content. Are we still talking about licking the wheels of the cars?
Yeah, well, yeah, because the antimicrobial.
Yeah, don't lick those.
There are metals that are like antibacterial.
I think copper might be. Maybe.
I'll go lick some pennies and find out.
I don't know. Don't lick pennies. Those are like zinc now. Don't do that.
I'm gonna die, aren't I?
Gross. It's
I
gross.
think isn't it like where pennies are like deadly now?
You could die. Don't swallow a penny, everyone. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Marvel Zombies. This is by CMON Games /Spin Master / what is the other one?
Guillotine Games.
That's right. Guillotine Games. I'm like, they literally have a guillotine there. I could not think of it. This is for 1 to 6 players. Should last about 60 minutes. This is kind of based off of like the What If series here, where they had a episode where Marvel people went ahead and turned into zombies because like some stuff happened. And now you have this game here, which is a stroke of genius by Spin Master and CMON Games. Like, just a stroke of genius doing this.
Because they already had Zombicide. It's like kind of like the World of Warcraft Pandemic. They already have the engine. You just can put a different intellectual property on it and then resell it again. Which is the best way to sell anything. It's just to reskin it.
You're not playing as the humans. You're playing as the zombies.
Which makes it taste different.
It does make it taste a bit different when you're going through. I mean, it's not like, oh no, we're in the streets. It's like, oh yeah, we're in the streets.
Here's the deal. I like the idea of if there was going to be an apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse, right? Because you feel like you can fight your way through it for a while, right? Mm-hmm. Slow zombies, not fast zombies. That's a different story. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no, nobody wants a fast zombie up in here.
22 days later, fast zombies, I'm ending myself immediately. I will not spend my last days running constantly. That's a lot of work. If I can do a light jog away from a zombie and feel like I'm making good distance, then I'm fine.
Good progress.
I will live for a while. I have the right skills. I've watched The Walking Dead. I know what to do. Basically, stop being dumb.
Okay.
So, but the idea of, I like the idea of a zombie apocalypse, right? And fighting zombies in real life. But if I'm going to play as something, I want to be the zombie to eat people. Because that sounds amazing.
It does.
Right? The idea of getting to play as superheroes that are zombies is just so much cooler for some reason.
It sounds very cool, right?
If it was the other way around, I wouldn't have been excited about it.
These little niblets, and you eat the people, and you like level up. You like get powers.
Could you imagine seeing Pepper Potts and being like, oh, she's dead. That'd be great. Chase her down. Or Jameson? Could you think about
Jonah Jameson? He deserves to get a little bite, okay? A little nibble.
And I know he's in here somewhere. Yeah. There's a bunch of characters. Like Bob. I wonder if he tastes like chimichangas.
So,
a little nibble.
Petter says, not based off of the What If episode, but off of the Marvel Zombies comics, which I had not realized that there was a full comic book stint for it, and that's amazing. And they're gonna super exciting.
Aren't they going to do a full show of it, too? I think on Disney+. Plus. I think they're going to do a full Marvel Zombies.
They may have canceled that one. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Don't tell me this.
So here's the other really cool stuff in this here, which, I mean, we're just in the beginning parts of this. They haven't even gotten to, like, the rest of the amazing stuff. Watching this trailer was just, like, every 5 minutes, or every few minutes, I was like, what? And then it was like, what?
Right, because we went into this not wanting this.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at it.
I was, like, closing my eyes like this.
Because we backed the Wild West one.
Not today. Come on.
We backed the Old West Zombicide. So we were like, okay, we're going to give Zombicide a try. It's been a while. We've only played, like, the base set once a long time ago. We wanted to give it another shot. We went in pretty deep on that one, if I recall.
$130 for the zombies. The other portion of this here is the fact that you can play the superheroes, too. So they have a whole different box where you can play, like, the whole X-Men series of characters, and you can play as the superheroes fighting the zombies on the grounds of Xavier Mansion or something.
So, like I said, this was something I didn't want to like, and then as I watched the trailer and everything, I got more and more excited about it and everything. Here's my one major nitpick, because you're always going to have one, right? I mean, the price is what the price is. It sucks. Like, I don't want to spend that much.
Yeah.
Here's my major nitpick. I wish they would have split this. This could have very easily been Marvel Zombies, where you got the zombies, and then you could add on the superhero cards for a nominal fee, $15, $20 or something, in order to play them. Or you could have bought that as an extra if you wanted to play as a good guy superhero, a non-zombie superhero. You could have paid $30 to get the miniatures plus the cards or something, and I would have been 100% fine with that, because I would have been like, I don't need that, that's cool. Why did they make it where you have to spend $130 to be the zombies, and then they're like, oh, but then X-Men, do you like X-Men?
$240
This is how you can play as the good guys in it.
Yeah.
I want them separate. I like that they're under the same umbrella, but I want them separately. I would have been excited about both of these, but together makes the price exorbitant. It's too much. It's way too much.
Petter says, honestly, I might sell the Undead or Alive shortly after getting because of Marvel Zombies.
Which I can get.
Battle Cry says, can play both sides with the other core box. Absolutely. So, like, the $240, you're getting both sides that you can play. And here's the third thing. Here's the third side here, which is a super ridiculous $410 price here. You can play as the Galactus, have the Galactus Pledge here, where you play against
but it's so expensive.
Galactus with this gigantic, you can't even call it a miniature, this gigantic sculpture.
Small baby.
And you get Silver Surfer along with that as well. The Silver Surfer in the zombie as well as the hero thing. And then Galactus has like his own deck, and it becomes kind of like the, gosh, what's the Marvel one? Come on, Marvel United, where you're kind of like all fighting against like one bad guy, like one versus many sort of style thing, but there's a deck that's competing as Galactus, not like nobody's
it's not
like
a player.
Yeah, nobody's playing.
It's just a big boss.
Yeah, it's a big boss fight, okay?
Which is cool, but that's why I feel like if they were going to do that, they could have split this. Because they could have very easily split this and had it where you did the Marvel, which is Galactus, and then you could have had the X-Men one could have been something like one of the Sentinels or something that you fight against. And they could have almost like just mirrored it, but then it gave people a chance to buy the IP that they want, which I love both IPs, but I don't love shelling out like $600. Because it's like $450 plus another $100. Because there's 3 expansions too. Here's the thing. Yeah. There's enough Marvel characters that you didn't need to throw in the X-Men. There was enough Marvel characters. They're not even touching all the Marvel characters. Right. And there's enough X-Men with the Brotherhood of the Mutants and everybody else that they could have very easily done.
This is
Hellfire
the one right here.
Club. I know.
I'm playing this one.
You can't because you're not getting that one unless you back the whole thing.
I just want to play this one. I just want the Dark Phoenix, okay?
You understand that's $240, correct?
I just want the Dark Phoenix.
Not for $240, I don't. If you wouldn't buy a custom statue to put up in the house for $240, I don't know if this is the thing. I don't know why they did it together, though. I feel like this could have been easier in people's wallets if they would have split it into doing one year and then one the next year. And it still would have sold really, really well. It's not going to have done bad. And there would have been a better chance of me getting both that way than shelling out $600 up front.
So let's see. Let's just go through. No, absolutely. That absolutely makes sense. So do not question our come on overlord, says Battlecry. It's not really a small baby, just a baby. Yes, Petter, it is 100% just a child. Get a car seat for that figure you got there, okay? T-Brick says, I've been caught up in the hype, but I'm not really a huge Marvel fan. I have already have Black Plague and Green Horde. That's interesting. Fair. So why have you been caught up in the hype for this? Is it because you can play either side? Like, are you a big fan of just being the zombies in general with this?
I always liked the idea of the Black Plague one. That was the one that I really wanted to get into, but I never had a chance to play that one.
So Studio Lanniston says, I have Zombicide 2nd Edition and all that Marvel United and Marvel United X-Men on the way.
Right,
Marvel
which is another
Zombies
thing.
Is a hard sell. I want it, but another pile of minis to paint that I can like live without. So here's the thing too, is in this set here, because you're getting the zombie and the superhero edition of many, many figures.
Yes, but not all of them. They don't all cross over.
Not all of them cross over, but think of how many minis this is going to be. Like, is this going to be more than usual minis?
No, I don't think so.
There are 4 expansions out, says Petter now.
So if there's 4 expansions, it's probably another $200.
Yeah, so Battlecry says, skipping Galactus, I will 3D print one if I need.
Ooh,
just to lord over you.
What if they could have also made Galactus a dice tower? That would have been pretty sweet.
Oh, they missed out.
Where you drop it in the back of his head and then it rolls out of his feet. That would have been awesome.
That would have been amazing. Okay, so here's one thing I do have to say that they totally missed out on in this.
Which was a good point I had never thought of.
Why can't we play against each other? Why can't we play zombies versus, like, the superheroes?
Living superheroes, right. Living versus undead superheroes.
Like, why didn't they add that in? Because they have the rules for the zombies, you have the rules for the regular super... Why don't we have PvP in this game? This would have separated it from the entire rest of the series, having a PvP style game with this.
Where you can do 1 versus 1.
1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, because it's 6 players. Like, why didn't we do that?
Because that would have been pretty cool. Like, being the team of X-Men versus, like, a zombie Captain America running around, and I'm over here trying to shield bash you, and you're trying to, like, you know, snick at me.
Yeah, and you can, like, steal stuff. Like, if somebody's trying to go in and get something, you take it first and stuff. Like, it would have been amazing. You have different objectives that you have to do and stuff. Like, it's being asked every live stream, says Battlecry.
Oh, is it really?
Why have they not done it? I'm so upset by that part.
And so we didn't watch the live streams because I wanted to stay away from this because I didn't want to get another Zombicide product before I get the last one that I backed. Which, that's always a thing, too. It's always frustrating to literally be getting a Zombicide game. It's already paid for. We're just waiting for it. And then they're already doing the next one. And I'm like, man, I haven't got the last one yet.
Okay. Here's the other thing that I want to bring up, and for people who have recently played Zombicide, and our chat may be able to answer this, is this going to be any different, like lighter than the regular Zombicide game? Because it is being co-done with Spin Master and stuff, and I'm wondering if they're revamping the rules in any way, but I haven't played Zombicide. Like, it's been a long, long time since I've played Zombicide. So, and
I don't believe it's changing it, though, because I think the Spin Master is who owns the IP.
It's just the thing. They're just coming in as the IP on that.
Right.
Okay.
I think Spin Master is the one, and Spin Master is the one that gets it into, like, Walmart and stuff.
Here's the other...
Because this is going to retail also.
Yeah, here's the other thing. It will 100% probably be out in retail before everybody wants it to. They are doing dual shipping on this, so if you want it whenever it's coming out at retail for people,
so let's
get
talk
the
about,
dual shipping.
Let's talk about timelines. If you want it, the retail, if you're buying just the retail, or if you want split shipping, you'll get your base game, which is the zombie version, where you are a zombie, in like October of 22, I believe.
Yeah.
If you want it to wait for it to all come together, or if you're getting just the Marvel, or if you're getting just the X-Men one, that comes in like June of 23.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. That's months away. So can you imagine if you don't do the split shipping?
Yeah.
People will be getting it in retail in that kind of
You'll be
October-ish
upset.
range.
You'll be real upset.
We'll be lucky if we get it around the same time as retail. They say around the same time, but it could be like a month's difference at least. But you figure if you get it around October, say everything gets shipped correctly, you get it around October. If you do the all-in pledge and you don't do the split shipping, you're not going to get to play it for like another 7-8 months after everybody else is already playing it. That's going to feel like a lifetime to a gamer. When all your friends are playing it for like 8 months and you're like, I'm still waiting for my all-in pledge. And then by the time you get it, you're already kind of over it. You're like, eh.
Yeah, you can't do that. You have to
You play Galactus once and then you just stop
which is going to be more money. So let's see here. Peter says, from what I've heard, it does not seem like it's lighter. And Battlecry says, let's see here. They said it will be more intense gameplay. Well, that's good.
It looks like you've got more like player powers and everything.
I enjoy the boards as always. Boards are super important in games like these. I hate having the cubes knocked around. You're going to get a crap load of minis. So if you are even thinking a little bit about getting this game, I would get the Kickstarter edition.
Oh, right.
Just get the Kickstarter edition. You're going to be able to probably secondhand sale it if you don't like it or whatever. But the amount of minis that comes in CMON's Kickstarter edition games,
Can we
like
talk
as
about
extras, is just highly beneficial.
Can we talk about base versus retail? Would you mind scrolling down to like where they have like the stretch goals and stuff? So they can show like what they've unlocked already. So you can kind of see.
Okay.
So, you know, here's a living superhero. So it's fine. There is a spot where you can kind of see what they've unlocked. And I think that's important to talk about versus retail versus getting the Kickstarter. This is Galactus. Keep going.
Okay.
So you can see some of them here. So there's a better spot though, because this doesn't tell you for which set it's for. Because if you're just getting the base set, it's very different. You're not getting all of these. Like you're not getting any of the X-Men unlocks, for example. Here we go. This works. So if you're getting the Kickstarter version of this versus the retail that's going to be like in the Walmart, for example, which who knows what price it'll be in Walmart, probably $100. Who knows? It'll probably be cheaper somehow. You're going to also get Luke Cage. You're going to get, but you won't get this one because the second one comes with the X-Men, it looks like. Right. Because since you've got that blue symbol over there, that leads me to believe that it only comes with the base game. And then if you're getting both games where you can play as the good and bad, you're going to get, looks like you're going to get Beast, which is cool. You're going to get Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, which will be big because they got that new show coming up. Daredevil, Doctor Doom, which is big, Namor, and you're going to get Star-Lord and Ghost Rider and Bullseye, which I think is really cool, and Kingpin and Hawkeye. I'm going too fast, sorry. And Morbius, which is good, right? So that's good. That's a lot of the newest characters that are coming out. So I think that's really important. You're going to get a lot of those characters that are going to be in new Marvel movies or shows. You'll get them if you at least get the Kickstarter version, or if you don't.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know if we even want to talk about the different expansions that come with it. Because there's the Fantastic Four expansion, which is cool.
There's the Guardians of the Galaxy one, which I need.
That's hard, right?
So, CMON Games Kickstarter version always holds resale value. Generally, you can make your money back, plus some of it if it isn't for you. And Marvel, it's going to be even more. Yeah,
I feel like you can at least resell it for what you got it for, plus your shipping.
Because of the amount of extra stuff that they put in it. So, like, you just are. And then let's see here. Basically, the non-zombie heroes are the abominations, and they can have spawn a lot. Oh, a lot of them come out with bystanders. Okay. Let's see here. The blue is hero, gray is zombie. Okay.
Right, so, and that's what I thought also. Oh, blue is hero, so that's the ones you're gonna get if you play as the good guys. I don't know. I'd have to look and see. So that's the only separation. So you get all of those. If you back just the bottom of the barrel pledge, right? The the $130 cheap pledge,
The
undead
cheap
pledge. Do you get
pledge.
both set of those miniatures, Petter? Do you get both, like, in this example, would you get all the characters we just showed, or would you get just one side of them? Because I'm under the impression that you're only going to get the side that applies to you. So you'd get the zombie ones.
That seems like it would not be the case, maybe, because usually how they do it.
If you don't have.
Yeah, but usually they put them in like a box, so you have like a Kickstarter box with all of the stuff in there, because they've already planned for like just to give you that box. Usually.
Well, then one thing to note then is if you do just do the $130 pledge, you won't be able to play as a good guy. You can only play as a zombie hero.
Yeah.
There is no option to play as a good guy hero stopping zombies.
Yeah. So right now all the minis come with the base pledge. Yeah, because just...
Okay, well that's cool, but they're just going to sit on your shelf because you can't use them.
Right, just character-wise and stuff like that, or packaging-wise, they plan for this and going, oh, okay, here's all the Kickstarter exclusives. We put it in one brown little box and send it along. Send it along its way. So let's see here.
Okay, so you could use the heroes, but they'll just be they'll be against you, basically. The ones that you get from the base pledge.
Hello, Nosferatu. So this...
Nosferatu, have you spent $600 today?
Do you want to?
And the red minis have special gameplay mechanics and scenarios. Okay. And those are like the interesting bystander ones, I believe. It's interesting, right? I really wanted to not be excited by this project because, like I said, we have one coming and everything else.
So I'm not even going to ask chat, like, if they're backing this or not. I just want to know what pledge you're backing.
I assume a lot of our chat who can afford it will be backing it, right?
Hello, Wyatt. Let's see here. You can use all the zombies in each game. Live heroes will be abominations. Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than what I was thinking, because I know a lot of companies now have gone where they show you a bunch of stretch goals, but then they're like, you get this stretch goal with the base and this one with the deluxe, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
I missed out on that.
Companies have been doing that lately.
And so it can get confusing, where you think you're getting something, and then you're like, oh, I don't get that because I didn't get the deluxe version. So that's what I was worried about.
Wyatt's brother's going all in. Oh, that's how you do it. You get your brother to back that game. Andrew says you could probably look up the hero rules online and use them.
I'm sure somebody's going to have like
How
scans.
Dare you?
Someone's going to have scans of the card online and stuff you can look, but you'll be missing the vast majority of the heroes that way.
And plus the Xavier's Mansion and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to find an Xavier's Mansion. You'd be missing that without printing it yourself. Which, that's the one dirty secret about all board games. A lot of times you can print stuff out yourself, but the whole point is I don't have the quality tools to print these things out to make them look nice.
I don't have that type of time.
It'll look bad. I'll make stuff look janky.
It'll look bad.
It'll look bad. You'll be fighting inside of it like a cut in half Coca-Cola can or something.
I love what they're doing with the minis now, where they're making them like
dynamic.
Yeah, like the Iceman one where he looks icy, and like with the Phoenix one where everything looks fiery. I love that they're adding that in there. That looks amazing. Like, so good.
I will not tell your spouse, Nosferatu. You're safe. I don't have her phone number.
We will not speak loudly about that, okay? The poorly programmed danger room, yeah.
Right, and so Wyatt's, see, that's what I was talking about with, that Wyatt's kind of saying is that the Undead or Alive one did separate stretch goals. So there was Steampunk Pledge, you got those stretch goals versus the other one. So a lot of them, I feel like, have done that because it makes it look like more, right? If you're going all in, it looks like a ton. But if they separated and they said, here's what you get at the base pledge, here's what you get at the deluxe pledge, you'd go, oh, I don't get all that other stuff? Like, oh, that sucks. But if they put it all together, they can say, oh, at 100,000 you get this, 200,000 you get this, 300,000 it makes it look like they've got more stretch goals than they really do if you are a base level pledge, which it's important to talk about. You got to ask yourself, like with Marvel United, I'm glad that we bought the Walmart version because we played it a few times and then we sold it.
Well, we kind of knew going into that one too what it was going to be because we could tell by looking at the Kickstarter, and we knew that game probably wasn't going to be for us personally.
Right. And I do know that it got more complicated and a little bit more advanced with the other expansion stuff, but I knew enough that if I didn't like the base enough, then I wouldn't want the rest necessarily. That we weren't going to enjoy
playing that game as much.
And I didn't want to store this huge behemoth for the off chances that one of the expansions makes it better. I'm a big proponent of that. If the base game isn't fun by itself, then that's a problem.
Ooh, Andrew says I'm at mid-level now. May go more Galactus is tempting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we talked about that in Nosferatu, how you have to get the X-Men one in order to play the other side.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I really wanted to skip this one, but then I got super excited when watching, when like looking through the campaign and the characters. You're getting enough characters. I could be talked into the undead pledge, the $130, which it hurts me to say that $130 is the cheap pledge.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to go any more than that. Like, I like Guardians of the Galaxy and everything, but I don't think I can justify getting more than that. Because I honestly feel like I might get more play out of Thunder Road Vendetta than I do out of this.
I don't know.
Because it's a miniatures game.
Yeah.
And how often are we going to play it versus something like Thunder
that's a
Road, which
setup-
is like
that's a
30
setup
minutes
day
to an
thing.
hour?
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot more involved, right? Like learning the rules is more involved and everything else. We have a lot of other miniature games too that are kind of big and involved and everything else. So I don't know. I guess I feel like you got to pick the pledge level that works for you. I think budgetary wise, it might make sense just to go in undead.
Nosferatu says Galactus or nothing.
And that's pretty cool. If you get the Fantastic Four, you get Agatha
Oh,
Harkness.
that's cool.
I just don't care enough about the rest of the Fantastic Four characters. I've seen all the movies. I know of them.
Yeah.
I'm not a comic book reader. I am definitely a person that gets it from movies and TV and cartoon and everything. But I don't know. I don't love Fantastic Four enough to spend an extra $50 for sure. I would for Guardians of the Galaxy because I really enjoyed that.
Okay, so Kenny says, people are saying getting the Undead Pledge and get the Hero one in retail if you don't want the Galactus.
That's not a bad idea.
That makes sense. That would make sense.
That's not a bad, and you can know too. I don't have any great desire to play as a good guy. I really just want to play as a zombie superhero.
Really? Okay.
I don't have any desire to play as Wolverine running around chopping people up. I feel like
but
you can play that.
It would be fun though because you would be fighting other
Superhero zombies?
Yeah, other superhero zombies, right?
I just want to eat faces. I have enough games. I have other games to play as a good guy. I could play Marvel Champions if I wanted to play as a good guy superhero, right? I want to play as an undead superhero. Like, that was my favorite part about that What If episode, was seeing them running around using their powers to eat people and how intense that was. I just want to eat people.
Nosferatu's trying to encourage us to get that Galactus pledge. We don't need... Our house is not big enough for Galactus, Nosferatu, okay?
What would I want Galactus.
Where would we even put it at? We have no place to put it at. Have you seen our game room?
Our game room has become a game room / game table / game floor
gosh,
/
it's like
studio.
all sorts of stuff right now. It's a mess. Let's see here. I just picked up a ring today, so I'm all about that poverty life and moment.
There you go.
Ooh, well, congratulations on your fancy ring you got there.
So Wyatt says they have something else that they're going to spoil next week, something big, and that it could be, maybe it would be like that PvP mode.
I hope it's the PvP mode. I really do, because it's the only thing that I'm missing from this that, like, would just, like, toss me over with, like, I just want to get everything, because I would want to PvP the heck out of everything. Like, I would want all my friends over. I want to have everybody together, like, fighting together, and it would be amazing. Because, like, it reminds me of, like, that, like, Flick 'em Up. You know, Flick 'em Up, you get everybody around there. There's a lot of people. You can all share the table and stuff like that. And then that battle against each other in that, where you're running into buildings and you're, like, hiding and protecting yourself, and then you're going out and shooting people and everything. Like, that's exciting.
100% it would just be you versus me. There's no way. There's no way. You've made friends with a bunch of Euro gamers. All your friends that you've made are, like, Euro gamers mostly.
Chat would come over and play.
They want to play Euro and deduction games. So they're going to be playing Callus and Belfort and those types of things. Legrand. You know it too. That's why you got real quiet. You're like, yeah.
I would find some new people to play with, okay? All right, so, Doctor, you are all in for the $130 Undead Pledge.
I don't know if I'd say all in. I'd be willing to do it because I'm still excited about the project. But I know that we also have a big pledge coming in on the Undead one. So I don't really want to go super deep into this one also, because I already have another Zombicide coming, and I better really enjoy it. Otherwise, I'm going to have two games that I just kind of enjoy, and that's going to be upsetting.
Glory bears the brains of the channel.
Yeah, we can't get rid of her. Can't.
See, chat's saying they'd play. Petter says they'd drive out. They were going to drive out for pandemic. They'd do this one, too, and so would Wyatt. Like,
so Kenny's got a good idea. Kenny says they do it like $10 per 1 hour gameplay. If they're going to play at least 50 hours of this game, then I'll back it. And that's a good point, Kenny. That actually works against us, though, because since we have so many games, there's very few games we're going to play 50 hours worth of, maybe ever.
Here's the thing, though. Whenever we do get these big game boxes like this with miniature-style games, so, like, our Arcadia Quest, we played the heck out of that. I would still play Arcadia Quest today. Like, if somebody set that up on the table, I'd be like, let's do this. Like,
Right.
I love playing Arcadia Quest. Same with Reichbusters. I love Reichbusters
And we played
so
it a
much.
lot.
And we played it a lot,
But we
and I would
haven't-
still play it again.
Right, and so we still have it in our
So-
collection. I'm just saying that you get to a point of, are you going to want to relearn the rules of this game and play it again? And then if
Right.
we have an undead version plus the Marvel Zombies version, like, we're going to like one more than the other. Like, just realistically, we're probably going to like one more than the other. I'm really worried. I am afraid for my Undead or Alive game now. I'm really afraid that you're going to be like, meh, get rid of it. That's what I'm afraid of. The only Western game I'm going to own, and you're going to want to get rid of it
And
now.
I'm like, not today.
Because you went in on it with me, and I was excited about that, and now I'm afraid you're going to be like, meh, I don't need that anymore. I'm going to be like, no.
Wyatt says most of my play in these games comes from painting the minis. I love painting these minis, and are great for people who are new to painting. Oh, that is very true, and that's fantastic.
I'm afraid to paint these ones, because I'd want them to be, like, too perfect.
Do not have the time to paint. I wish I had time to paint minis, but I do not. That would be amazing, having these all painted up, but...
There's a few games I'd paint the minis to, and yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. All right, moving on,
I'd paid someone
everyone.
to paint my Blood Bowl team, because I knew
Moving on.
realistically
We
I wasn't
probably,
going
I
to
don't
do
know
it.
how much time we spent on that, but it was like way over what we usually spend talking about that.
No, it's fine.
Next up, we have a Ravaged Star. Okay, this here is by what was it?
MiniWarGaming.
Yeah, MiniWarGaming. This is not a game, everyone. This is something special that the doctor put onto the list here.
You want to know
This
why I
is
put on
a
the list?
group of miniatures. This guy's hilarious. Actually, I'm not going to watch this because although this is
You
hilarious,
can watch just this part.
you need to watch this in person to get the full with the sound and like everything happening here.
He likes
okay?
the smell of plastic.
It's very if you love miniatures like Wyatt and stuff, then you feel it. You can just feel it. Okay.
I should send him some game trays. He can get some sniffing going on.
There you go. There you go.
So the reason why I added this to our list is because I always like to have a variety of projects, but I thought this one was interesting to bring up specifically because we do have so many people who paint miniatures, like
Yes.
Nosferatu, as an example, who collect miniatures, paint them, and play other miniature style games like Warhammer. And looking at this, I was hoping it was a game because I was getting excited by looking at it, reading some of the
Art's
lore.
fantastic.
And I kept hoping that there'd be like some gameplay in here, and I was like, oh, there's no gameplay in here, which made me sad, but it's a really interesting idea that it's like kind of like a human legion that's been cursed, and they're all war-torn and battle-weary, and you get to play as this really awesome thing. Looking through the different pledge levels, and comparing to something like a Warhammer starter kit, which is about $50 for like the real entry-level like
Right.
novice kit,
right.
it seems about comparable because the Warhammer one's going to give you like some boards and some basic rulers and stuff like that. This one won't give you that, but you're getting, if you get like the very first package, if you look at, you're getting the miniatures for about $2 a piece. That's not bad. If you get to some of the later packages, it's not as good of a ratio, but you're getting these giant like tanks and stuff like that that you can modify and everything. So overall, if you are a miniature gamer and you are looking for a way to have like a very kind of like unique army, this would be a really good way of doing it because most people at your shop aren't going to have this. I'd be surprised if you'd run across maybe like 2 or 3 other people, unless you've got a really big community that also backs Kickstarters. And this is funded really well. I'd be surprised if you ran across somebody else who's also running this same legion against yours.
So Petter says they were talking about it on Dice Tower. It sounds like these are basically Warhammer minis, but pretending not to be. Yes. So here's what happens:
It could be for any game, but yeah.
Yeah, different game companies will go ahead and make figures or packs of items that you can actually mod figures with and stuff like that. So you can take like a Games Workshop figure and then like put a different head on it and stuff, and mod these figures to make them customized for your gameplay. Like
Right.
when we got special figures for Blood Bowl and stuff like that to play.
Right, so like for Blood Bowl, I got pigs.
Yeah,
They're all pigs, and it's amazing. There's like a big old boar that runs around. He's in like a Cardinals jersey.
Yeah.
It's amazing, everybody, and I love them.
They're
I just look at them
stylized
sometimes.
in a way that is something that makes it special for you, but they usually do have indicators on there so people
Right.
can quickly identify them as the legion that they're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be playing on the board.
Right, like my big wild boar is a black orc.
Mm-hmm.
And so people should be able to look at that and know, oh, that's a black orc. And there's 4 of them, so they look distinct enough that you know, oh, that's a black orc from Blood Bowl, with them being their own sculpts and everything. So it's a way to have a personalized army that's kind of cool, but still goes with the gameplay and the rules and everything. I think it's a pretty nice set. If I was a painter or if I was playing Warhammer, this seems like something I'd be really interested in, which is why I kind of wanted to bring it up today and just at least let people know about it, because it'd be easy to miss on Gamefound. Not everybody checks Gamefound all the time, too.
Absolutely. And the person who designed these has some skills. Like, they look super fantastic. If I was into Warhammer, then this would be something at the top of my list because I always like stylized miniatures.
So the MiniWarGamer guy obviously is a war gamer, but also the company that actually is making these, they made Ascent, I believe, and they made Storm Thunder. And you can still late play Storm Thunder off of this. So they actually made miniature style games too.
Oh,
so I thought that was interesting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So he went to them though because of how cool their miniatures are, how like very detailed they are.
Yeah, now this is a cool looking campaign and stuff. And like, again, man, I really wish I did have time to paint. I really do, because there's so many fantastic figures out there. And I think the
Not like it used to be.
Yeah.
Where you got like a derpy skeleton, and you're like, you just pay $2 for that derpy skeleton, and it's like got like a melted bone for like a weapon.
You have to like melt everything back into place and like cool
All your guys had the
like,
sword doing like this.
It's like,
and you're like, oh.
Is that a spear? I don't think that's how the spear's supposed to look.
I remember one time getting a miniature that I think it was metal, but it was so bent over. I thought that it was like a Reaper hook type thing, and it wasn't.
Just straight up, you're like, no.
When I actually got it out of the package, I was like,
oh,
that's not a scythe. That's just a bent longsword. It was very awkward. I was disappointed. So I just thought this was a really cool campaign that you can get a bunch of those. Because like Lenniston said, and some other people were saying, is that they know that Warhammer is really expensive to get into. This is a good way to get into it and still be unique. But people should have a good idea of what you're playing.
Absolutely.
So it should be very comparable for that game. But you could really use it for anything.
Even if you're not a very detailed painter, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do to paint these. Like Wyatt is saying, contrast paints are your friend. You could do ink washes on these guys and make them look a little bit grittier and like more defined and stuff. There's simple things you can do if you already have a really fantastic looking figure that has a lot of detail on it that could make it even more fantastic looking,
like
with just something very simple.
I've seen people doing with Ankh, is they're taking them and they're washing them, and then they're doing gold on just highlight pieces.
Highlight pieces,
like
and
a
then
piece
you're
of
like,
armor,
boom, done.
or like a weapon, and I'm like, man, it is amazing looking. I want to do that really bad.
Tiny bit of touching up on them, you know,
Sometimes
like
just a little detail work.
Right, exactly, and it can.
Because like I can't paint eyes. Whenever we did Arcadia Quest, I painted a few, you painted a few, and I started mass painting all the orcs, but I couldn't do the eyes, so I had to give them to you because my hands are shaky. I have a hard time with it, and you know, I get bored too. Like when I'm painting, like I enjoy it, but I get like all kind of like, you know, distracted. So I think there's a really good way you can contrast it. I just thought it was really cool. I thought all the figures looked really awesome. And I was kind of sad there wasn't a game associated with it. Somebody make this into a game.
Just get them and then make the game with them.
You could.
There you go.
You can make a chess set with these.
Oh, fancy.
You would have to like, I don't know, write a giant like king and queen on them or something, but still you could.
If you're interested in it, it is on Gamefound right now. So that is the Ravaged Star, Armies of the Veiled Torch.
And as Nosferatu would say, just go $450 in. It's no big deal. This is a gaming channel. Just go in on it.
Just all in. Just all in on everything. Woo!
Yeah, it's no big deal. Just get it.
All right, chat. This is where we come down to the line and we talk about what we actually are going to back. If we could choose one game to back, and this is for all of you in chat as well, if you are backing just one game this week, what is that game? What are you spending your burrito money for? Are you eating a Chipotle burrito, or are you spending 4 months of not eating at Chipotle, getting burritos just in order to get a Galactus pledge?
Are you going to get the Come On Galactus pledge, or are you going to pay half your mortgage? It's
right,
just, it's
I
one
know,
of those
right?
things.
Okay, so choices
things.
need to be made, and right now we're going to talk about those choices. Doctor.
So my number one pick, if I could only get one thing, it would be Thunder Road Vendetta, and it would be that one expansion I talked about for the crew. And the only reason why it beats out this Zombicide Marvel is because we have another Zombicide game already paid for and coming in. So I feel like that was just enough to pull it down and push the other one up. Because I don't have another Thunder Road. I do have another Zombicide game coming in the mail eventually.
Studio Lanniston says, I'd do the Marvel Zombies if I could, but I cannot. I totally understand. You go find somebody that is doing it and then mooch off of them
well,
whenever
Studio
it comes in.
Lanniston's top pick was Rise of the Necromancer, so Studio Lanniston's going to be happy with that for a while.
Let's see here. At this point, we put our burritos on the line. Marvel Zombies, says Petter. Ren says Thunder Road Vendetta.
All right, we can play with Ren then.
Battlecry says Marvel Road. Or I'm sorry, Marvel Zombies. That's a whole new one. Marvel Road
Marvel
Vendetta.
Road Vengeance.
Why it says when my Marvel game comes in, my landlord will understand why I couldn't pay that month. Absolutely,
honestly,
invite them to play with you.
So my brother worked at a pawn shop. I bet you could probably take your Galactus to a pawn shop and get some rent money.
Fair. That's fair.
Get some rent money.
Battlecry, stop unsubscribing. You subscribe right now.
Well, I mean, you can't really make a wrong choice, right? I understand if people don't want to do maybe the mini set because that's very specific, right? But I know there's people here that would be interested in at least seeing them. They're both good choices. Like I said, the only reason why I'm going for the Vengeance game is just because we already have Zombicide pledged and en route.
Okay.
Hopefully, eventually, we'll get it.
My first choice is Thunder Road Vendetta because it is a game that we have Car Wars, but we don't have something that plays faster like that where like Car Wars is different. Car Wars is more miniature style game where Vendetta is still on more of that board game side of things. So like it's easier to teach to other people, right?
Both Vendetta and Marvel Zombies should both be in that beer and pretzels range too, where it should be casual enough that you can bring non-gamers and mix them with your gamers and kind of play together.
Here's the thing. I also want to get Marvel Zombies.
I know you do.
Because one, hot. I want it. It looks hot. It looks good. Two, I feel like it's unique being able to play the zombies in that. And although we may have a zombicide coming in, it will still be defined as a different type of game because we are the zombies.
Do you feel like it speaks to your corrupted heart?
It does speak to my corrupted heart, everyone.
Like you wanted Rise of the Necromancers just because of the Necromancers.
Demands that I eat people and then I go out into the world and destroy things, okay? That is how things go.
When you saw Wanda Maximoff as like a zombie Scarlet Witch, you were so pumped.
I was so excited. I was like, she's gonna mess everybody up.
You were pumped. Pumped.
So freaking excited, okay?
Yeah, all right. So Peter says showed it to his wife, Marvel Zombies, and even they wanted it like immediately.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. It should be a pretty good one to play too with everybody. You get a lot of people together. And
Wyatt's
play a bunch of stuff.
getting Undead and Alive also, and he has to though because he's named after Wyatt Earp.
That's awesome. That's right. Let's see your Battlecry. I kept asking why Marvel United had chibis and not awesome sculpts, and now it's clear that they had this in the background.
That's fair. I think you gotta remember though, the Marvel United was geared more like kind of Arcadia Quest was. It's supposed to be entry level.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be
and not
complex.
entry level in a bad way.
Right. That doesn't mean bad.
I know, but some board gamers might be like, just in the fact that it is a family game to be shared with everyone. Whereas if you break out zombies on the table, your 4-year-old might get a little nervous. Okay. Or maybe they'll be really excited. You'll know at that moment if they're dark side or light side with your 4-year-old if you'd introduce them to that.
That's true. Why it says just use these miniatures for Marvel Zombicide.
That's right.
In your United game. Problem solved.
Yeah, no, the chibis in Marvel United are fantastic.
Yeah, I like
Either
them.
way, they did an excellent job. Like, we have Arcadia Quest, and
I like that chibi style.
Love the chibis in there. Yeah, they do a fantastic chibi style. So
I wanted to keep it just for those minis almost.
If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, ring the bell to get notified whenever we go live. Give us some likes on this video. That would be super, super exciting. And
let us know what you're backing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Final
in the comments
call.
For everybody that has not.
And we won't tell
commented.
anybody. We'll keep it secret. But final
We're
call.
not
What are
going
you
to
backing?
find your spouses or your employers or your renters or anybody like that and tell them what you're doing. It's fine. We're all here. We all understand. Okay.
We're about 2,000 strong. Your secret's
we all
safe.
Understand.
Your
Okay?
secret's safe.
Other than that, I think we will be back. Are we going to play Gloomhaven?
We really want to play Gloomhaven online.
Online,
the app
everyone.
version, Steam.
I'm excited. I want to play it really, really badly.
I'm all for it. It's just a matter of when we want to schedule it.
We're trying to figure out what day we want to schedule it and possibly do a Gloomhaven campaign. If you all are interested in that, let us know. It will be the computerized version, so we'll be able to play it there. You'll be able to see all the moves. It'll be fantastic. But we've really been thinking about it, and I'm really excited to kind of play it online because honestly, I'm lazy and the not picking up anything, just turning off the computer and being like, boop, and then leaving is kind of amazing.
Well, with now that you're working full time, right, and I'm working full time, it does make it easier to pick up Gloomhaven in that form versus trying to set it up and making sure the bookkeeping. I mean, we played World of Warcraft yesterday, World of Warcraft Pandemic, and it's not a complicated game, but I still missed steps because it was still a game I'd only played once before, and by trying to like talk to everybody and trying to make sure that I'm covering all the rules while also playing my turn and everything was enough that I missed like flipping out a few cards. And
Absolutely.
I mean, that's not why we won. And I did a really amazing job. Don't watch the end.
Except for...
But that's a whole nother thing. Once you add in people watching you, it adds a whole nother level. Because I can't stop and flip through the rule book the same way. I choose not to. Because I want to keep the gameplay going. It adds a different level of complexity, makes it a little bit more difficult to make sure you're getting every little nuance right. And Gloomhaven has a lot of nuance.
Get your Gloom on before Frost comes out. That's right, absolutely. So we are planning on possibly starting that up on Sundays. Maybe not on this Sunday. Just watch the channel. Like I said, do the likes, do the subscribes, ring the bell so you get notified if we do go live on that. Those will be longer. Those will be longer ones. Those will probably be 4-hour blocks of time that we'll end up playing.
Depends on how bad we are. That can make it longer.
Well, other than that, we will see all of you later. Thanks so much for showing up. We really appreciate all of you being here and all of your comments and telling us what you're backing, and so we can all discuss what we should get. We will see all of you later. Bye.